Be sharing with you in this video how to get clear on your values and align your identity with those values. So I really believe that this is one of the most powerful concepts that I've ever learned in my life, because what I realized is that no matter what we do, no matter how we live our life, no matter which path we take, what happens is that it's all going to come down to your actions will be a result of your values. But the question is, are those values conscious? Like, are we aware of those values? Do we have clarification on what those values are? Or is it sort of just happening and it's just sort of an autopilot? So in this video, what I'm going to share with you is how not to make it autopilot, how not to just quote unquote let it happen, but get clear on what you care about, and then make sure that every single action that you take is you being aligned with your values. So if you want to be a person of integrity, if you want to be a person of excellence, if you truly care about being a person of discipline, what happens is that getting clear on your values is almost a necessity. It's a not just a luxury, it becomes something that you have to do. And so the first thing that I want to share with you in this video, in terms of how to do this, if you so desire to align with this path of really realizing what you care about most in your life, is just to observe your actions. And so I'll just ask you a question, and that question is, what do you take action on the most? So if you look at those actions and you look at how you're acting, that's what you value. That's what you value. Now, if you don't like it, if you don't like what you're acting towards, after looking at this, like you might look at this and then you might look at that and then just see like, whoa, wait a second. There's a lot of stuff here that I don't like about the way that I'm acting. And then if you look at that and see that, well, then now it's your opportunity to change it, to just change it, excuse me. You just want to change it all there and just remove it. But how do you change it? Well, really, becoming aware of it, I think, is 90% of the process. So when you look at your values, when you become aware and you look at it and you say like, well, wait a second, I don't like this. When you go through that process and you do this, that is ultimately how you really realize that you don't want to do it anymore. And that's how you change. Because when that moment hits that you realize you don't like some part about yourself, it's not that you don't accept it. It's not that you don't fully see it. It's not that you don't fully acknowledge, like, well, that happened. That's a part of existence. Like, okay, that's the way that I've been acting. You fully take it on. And it's like, okay, you know what? It's like, after that whole process, it's almost like you look at that and you say, I can change this about myself, but there's no resistance anymore. And so when you reach that point, change will almost be effortless. You'll just be different. You'll just take action and you'll be a person that is of true integrity, because when you look at a person that has true integrity, they can't fake it. You can't fake it. You can't fake a real smile or a real person. You can't fake being a real person, and you can't fake authenticity. If you look at somebody trying to be authentic or trying to be cool or trying to show something about themselves or whatever the case might be, you'll sense that immediately and you'll get a red flag. You'll get a red flag because I really believe that our internal compass is much more aware of these things than we give ourselves credit for, whether it's something you see in the external world or something you see within yourself. Nonetheless, really what I'm trying to say here is that 90% of this process to remove any kind of just unnecessary baggage in your life, just noticing how you don't like it. And be honest, because if you see what your actions are, again, because the point here is to look at what actions you do the most. If you don't like the actions that you're doing, you have to look at that and then, of course, change it. And it sounds simple just to change it. It's like, well, how do you do that? Again, just look at all those actions in your day. Ask yourself, like, is this who I really want to be? Is this how I want to live my life? Like, if you continue being that same person, are you happy with the result? Are you happy with who you're going to be 6 months from now? If you keep aligning your actions the same way that you have been. So this is how to get more clarity. Because remember, whether you're doing this consciously or unconsciously, you're already aligned with your values. So whether you know what your values are or you don't, you're already aligned with them. So just look at how you're acting to get more clarity on them. That's the fastest way. And so the second thing that I want to share with you in this video, without digressing too much here, is to understand that valuing your state of consciousness helps you to get clarity. That's what really helps a person to get more clarity, is to make their ultimate value their state of consciousness. So if you value your state of consciousness more than perhaps you value money, more than perhaps you value a relationship, more than perhaps you value even your health, as crazy as it sounds. And I would never say to put anything above your health at all. No, please don't get it twisted what I'm what I'm saying here. But the truth is that oftentimes I find that if we value our state of being, if we value not just what we're doing in our life and the results that we're getting, but we begin to value the place that we're coming from while we do what we do, for me, what I find is that that is the ultimate way to get more clarity on what you care about. And of course, really, you should never neglect your health. So please don't misinterpret what I'm saying as an opportunity to not care about your money, not care about your health, not care about the relationships in your life, and then to go off and to believe that just how you feel is the most important thing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for me personally, you would be so surprised and you would think, okay, if I value my state of consciousness, everything in my life is surely going to fall apart, right? Like it's all just going to fall apart. Like you won't be able to continue working. You're not going to be able to maintain the relationships in your life. You're not going to be able to stay connected to your family. You're not going to be able to stay in good health. It's like all these worries come up, right? It's like, well, surely it's all going to fall apart. But it's like what you'll find is actually the opposite to be the case. Is that if you value your state of consciousness, what begins to happen is that you get so clear on exactly how much money you want to have, how you want to handle your finances, how to make responsible choices. You get so much clarity on maybe something, not medical advice, but on what to do with your health, how to be more healthy, what to do, what to eat, what not to eat, what works best for you. And you definitely get more clarity on, for me, in every single area of life, when you begin to trust how you're being while you're doing what you're doing. Because ultimately, really, if you want something in your life, if you care about something in your life, what I believe is that you can't care about the thing too much. If you care about the thing more than how you feel, what I often find is like that thing is almost, there's like a barrier between you and your desire and whatever it is that you want. If you care more about something in the external world more than your own peace and your own state of consciousness, it's almost like, again, life has an interesting way of just not giving it to you. Because it's almost like life wants you to be whole, wants you to be complete. It wants you to feel happy within yourself. It wants you to take resistance, negativity, suffering, and not use that as something that you need to attach to as that's who you are and that's your identity. Just stuff that happened and you can let it go quicker. It doesn't need to stop you from taking action. It doesn't need to stop you from doing the thing that you know you have to do. It doesn't need to stop you with the having more clarity on your vision. And in fact, it's going to give you more clarity on your vision. So, what I'm telling you here is not that you should value your state of consciousness above anything else. Really, what I'm sharing with you here in this video is simply an invitation to consider that possibly nothing in your life is going to go wrong if you care about your state above all else. Is that in fact, you'll begin to be a person that just cares about how they feel when life is telling you that you're not allowed to. There's going to be so many things in your life that are going to tell you that you're not allowed to care about your state. You need to do this, you have to do that, and you have to do this. And it's like, actually, you need to learn to respect yourself and to care about yourself first and foremost, because it's like, what value are you going to have to offer the world if you can't even take care of your own state of consciousness and what's keeping you at high energy, keeping you at a high state? Like if you're consistently giving your life force energy and giving away a part of your soul, the stuff that doesn't feel right to you and you feel drained, it's like, how are you going to have the mental capacity to get clear on your finances, to get clear on how you want to be in your relationships, to get clear on what you need to do to be the best version of yourself in your fitness life or whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to get clarity in all these things, how are you going to do that if you care too much about money? Because if you care too much about money, it's almost like health can go away. If you care too much about your health, it's like you might have money issues. It's like if you care too much about something, oftentimes something else gets neglected. So what I'm inviting you here is to have, what happens is that when you value your state of consciousness, it's almost like you have a holistic perspective on all of these things in your life. Because I believe that in order to be a healthy and happy individual, it's not that just you want to get your money issues sorted, or that just you want to focus on your health, or that just you want to focus on your relationships. It's like, no, you want all of these things to be in balance, and then you become a healthy and happy person. But all of this, I find, comes almost naturally when you value your state of consciousness above those things first. And that sounds crazy, but I find that, life has an interesting way of just sorting itself out when you care about how you feel ultimately. And how you feel is your intuition. And that sounds like an airy-fairy concept, but it's almost like just common sense. Don't throw yourself under the bus. It's like we forgot how to be there for ourselves. We've forgotten how to fully be there with our own triggers, our own quote-unquote traumas and issues, and see them in a way that's going to help us to move forward. And we've not given ourselves permission to do so. It's like we are always looking out there for the answer, and the answer can be found out there, but it has to come from your priority to care about your state of consciousness first. And so the final thing that I want to share with you in this video, just to conclude and combine these concepts together, is really to understand that I want you to really be open to the possibility that massive action is going to help you to get more clarity as well. So if you pair valuing your state of consciousness, you care about how you feel, with just massive action in every single area of your life, just keep taking action, whatever that means to you, stay in the flow of movement. For me, action means staying in the flow of movement. Because yes, we should be, I believe, connected to our stillness. And I say should, not because you have to, but because for me, I found the benefits of remaining connected to my stillness so powerful that it's not even a luxury, it's almost a necessity. Because I find that if I don't value, for example, my state of consciousness before money, like let's just say you want to go test it, go test valuing your money over your state of consciousness. And that's not an invitation, it's just sort of a rhetorical statement that you don't need to follow, and I don't actually recommend you do. But if you do, what I believe is that what you'll find is that you'll find that there's a lot of lessons and mistakes that you'll learn in that space, where the best thing that you can do for yourself is to, again, remember to prioritize your state of consciousness. Because again, you'll lose yourself in the thing that you believe you want. But what you want is peace and clarity to align with those things in a holistic way. That's what I believe we all want at the end of the day, is that we don't really want the thing, and we do want the thing. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting the thing, wanting whatever it is that you want, but the place that you're coming from is going to be of utmost importance for your sanity, and also for you to have the most efficient and productive way to get there. If you want the most efficient and productive way to get there, your consciousness is going to be of utmost importance. But if you take all of this and combine this with massive action, I think that that's a huge recipe to get clarity and wisdom and information about who you are very, very quickly, much faster. It's like you can learn much faster. I believe that when we don't do this, we stay stuck in cycles of negativity for God forbid, who knows how long. Who knows how long? Like, what if you were to stay stuck in a cycle of believing you cared about something more than your state of consciousness for years and years and years, just to realize, like, I didn't care about that. What I cared about is my own peace, and then to share that peace with the world in whatever form resonates for me. Like, wouldn't that be such a shame? Wouldn't that be just so sad? For me, that's such a shame. That'd be the saddest thing ever, because it's like life wants you to succeed. Life wants you to be happy, but it's like if you insist that you need something else outside of you to be happy, life will say, okay, no problem, and then it'll just show you more of how that's true, because you're creating it. What we fail to do is, I think, to take responsibility sometimes over the fact that we are creating our own emotions. And it's like, I understand that stuff can come up where it seems like you're not the one doing it, but it's happening within your consciousness. And then from there, then you have the power to continue doing that same thing or to choose something else. But when all of it is happening within sort of just like an attachment to the thing, it's like there's never enough spaciousness to have that clarity. There's never enough spaciousness to be independent, to have wisdom, to have all of these amazing things that we're looking for, because we care too much just about the thing that we believe that we need to be happy. So values are important. I believe that you should understand what you care about most in your life. What do you care about in your life? What do you value? Do you value money? Do you value relationships? Do you value your family? Do you not value these things? Like, do you not care about money at all? It's like, I believe that we need a balance of all these things to quote unquote be happy and be a holistic human being, an embodied, holistic, whole human being grounded in the physical world. But it's like, ultimately speaking, I believe that the true happiness, of course, comes from your state of consciousness. But not to digress too much here and repeat myself, just remember that if you in your life as well just do more in your life without thinking about it, while you value your state of consciousness, don't take my word for it. See what happens. Notice that life will not fall apart. Notice that you'll just know what action to take. You'll know what to do. Yes, you might still experience doubt, worry, and concern and fear, but it's like all of these things don't become you. They don't become your identity. They don't become something that you need to cling on to and say like, oh, this is me, these are my problems. It's like you can just use that. And then again, because it's not you, there's more of a possibility to take action in a different direction. So does that make sense? Do you see how when you have spaciousness, there's more of a possibility that you will take action on a new identity, a new version of you, because there's no attachment and you haven't lost your soul almost in the thing, in the thing that you're doing. And if you lose yourself in the thing that you're doing, do you see how like there's no possibility that clarity would come? Because you're so attached, there's no spaciousness. It's like you are the problem. If you become the problem that you're trying to remove and there's no spaciousness between you and the problem, you almost can't remove it. There has to be awareness, there has to be clarity. So it's almost like to some degree you have to go through negativity and conflict sometimes, even negative contrast and negative situations, then to realize like how you want to be in your financial life, how you want to be in your relationships. This is why I believe conflict and negativity is a normal part of life, and that's how we deal with that conflict. So when this conflict happens, when this situation happens in any area of your life, what place are you going to be coming from in that moment? Are you going to let yourself become the conflict, become lost in this situation, lose your state of consciousness in this situation and get absorbed and sort of hypnotized by the problem? Are you going to see the problem for what it is, not lose yourself in it, and then from there allow solutions to come, allow the problem to be solved through you getting more clarity, not by trying really difficult to fix it, but by just being there, And so just be okay that problems will happen, negativity will happen, but you just need to keep taking action. You'll start to learn more about who you are, what you stand by in your life, what you don't stand by, and all of these things you'll start to learn naturally. So you'll really see that, anything in life that you don't want to stand by, that you don't care about, when that comes up, you'll be more okay with that coming up, because you'll start to really notice that that's necessary to come up so that 100% what you do stand by in your life, what you do care about in your life, what you do value in your life. So it's like if there's ever a moment in your life where you did lose your state of consciousness and you lost yourself in the thing, just remember that had to happen in order for you then to double down even more that, yes, I do care about my state of consciousness more than anything else. That's an important learning lesson. So when these problems happen, it's okay.